Softening life's hard hits. Though you wander far and roam, my voice will always guide you home. Follow your heart where the wild winds blow. Follow the tide to Dark Moon Radio. Flowing waters, ancient spoons, source remembered deep in your veins. Follow the tide, let your spirit know you found your way to Dark Moon Radio. Dark Moon Radio. The river hums and the path still calls, echoes dancing through ancient halls. Morning rises upon the stream, carrying fragments of forgotten dreams. The pulse beneath the turning day, the quiet truth beneath the play. A shared horizon, a beating heart, together now though worlds apart. Follow your heart where the wild winds blow, following the tide to the radio. Flowing waters, ancient stones, source remembered deep in your bones. Follow the tide, let your spirit know you found your way to Dark Moon Radio. Dark Moon Radio. The pulse, the wave, the undertones, a distant light that leads you home. The water moves, the journey flows, the river always seems to flowing waters, ancient stones, source remembered deep in your bones. Welcome home. Welcome to Dark Moon Radio.
There we go. Good morning. I think a little bit of a tiz here. Yes, we are going. We are live on the radio. I think we are live on YouTube. I don't know. I'm trying. Yeah. Hello YouTube. Okay, I'm just trying to get TikTok. TikTok is such a pain. But yes, we are live on TikTok, and we're live on YouTube. Hello YouTube. Got lots of new songs for you. Got some new jingles even. Oh well. Okay, right. Let's see if I can get TikTok up and running, because that was always the game. Do TikTok and YouTube once a week. I haven't done it. I didn't manage it last week because TikTok needed they wanted an update. And so they spent all the time doing the update, and I couldn't be asked, basically, to hang around. So we are trying to go live on YouTube. Oh god, there's so many different on TikTok. Right, go live. Do it for me. Come on, do it. Dare you. I think that's live. Okay, if it is live, it's fine. If it's not live, I think I've done everything right. But then I always do, and then you like find out that there's no sound. I'll say good morning, and if you can't hear me, let me know. Good morning. If you can't hear me, please let me know. There you go. That goes for YouTube as well, but I don't know. I have to double check all of this. As I say, it's been a couple of weeks since I did it because last week didn't work out so well. I try. Why have I got a floating box just floating around doing its thing? I don't know, but it's doing it right. It's there. Radio's on. You know, if you want it better, best of all, go to the radio station. It's on Facebook. You've got the link there. It's on Dark Moon Rocks. You've got the link there. You can download the app and listen to it there. The radio station is the easiest. When you're doing all this live stream stuff, it just makes things more complicated. But I try. Let's make sure the radio's doing. I got to stick the radio on. But anyway, I'm going to play a tune. These are my here we go. These are all my music, AI assisted. I write the words. It's my voice. They made my voice sing. Oh, it was so cute. But watching it all is what's this? Watching it all is quite fun because you put it all together and yeah, it's fun. It's fun stuff. Right, let's find and see if I'm actually on YouTube. Let's try not to get any feedback loops because that is a bit of a pain. But yeah, I've done a whole album on YouTube. The Seeds of a Dark Moon album, the album one. It's like, yeah, these are all my songs. And yes, no, I'm not a singer. I'm a poet, but it puts in very nicely. Please listen to You Missed Your Target. That's one of my favorite ones. There's also Isn't Your Table, I Have Influence. There's lots of new songs. The Dark Mother there as well. There's lots of Grey Path stuff and Dark Moons, the Dark Mother stuff. It's fun for me to make all of these things, so that's what I'm doing. Right, live. And we're waiting for pages to load now. In the meantime, we shall play. What shall we play? Let's have a nice one to start with. Hands to Earth, a nice little gardening song.
Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new in. Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new begin. A dream of green, a garden grows. The chaos of now will become the rose. Pull and twist, release the lie. Death feeds life, nothing dies. Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new in. Knees in the dirt, back to the sun. This is how the work gets done. Hat on my head, eyes in the shade, watching tomorrow being made with every weed and every root. Space is opened for tender shoots. Pull and twist, release the lie. Death feeds life, nothing dies. Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new in. The soil remembers what minds forget. Winter's promise hasn't failed yet. Out of chaos, patterns form from broken ground. The sea transforms decay and death. seed roots below. This is how the gardens grow. No trumpet sounds, no grand design, just seasons turning time after time. Round and round the spiral goes. What we bury always grows. Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new in. Pull and twist, release the lie. Death feeds life, nothing dies. We tend, we wait, we trust, we grow. We tend, we wait, we trust, we grow. Hands to earth, earth to skin. Pull the old and let the new begin.
There we go. That was a nice little, that's Hands to Earth, Earth to Skin. That's one of my gardening songs. So yeah, I use the AI to sort of do the music and the production. I can influence the production. I can put meta tags in. I'm learning all of that, and my music production have got a lot better and also a lot more unique. Okay, I get that this you can all tell that it's AI, and that's fine. But it is unique in places because it's my voice, and there's no one else who's recorded my voice in there. Um, and yeah, I have a lot of fun making these songs. You can find most of them on my radio station. In fact, pretty much all of them. The radio station is growing in leaps and bounds. I've got things like meditation hour and podcast hour and podcast couple of hours now. And yeah, I put all the shows up every now and again. You can see it all on the schedule if you go and explore. And Dark Moon Rocks radio is also, it's 24/7. I've got it all down, all these nice songs. So, how are we doing? Right. I also live on a boat. I live on a boat on the canal, and yeah, it's kind of, I'm broadcasting from the internet, so mobile data. So sometimes it falls over. I can't do much about that. I can keep the technology on my side going fine, but if the internet's having a bad day, I have a bad day too. So I do what I can there, but yeah, the water levels are pretty stable at the moment in this pound. A pound is a place between two locks, and yeah, they often drain. Somebody leaves a lock open, it all goes down, and yeah, it's an interesting way of things. But we're allowed to stay still for a bit. We don't have to move until the end of August. Usually we're on a 2-week rotation. We have to move every 2 weeks. But because of the water levels, they're saying you can stay put, which is nice. And I've got a little story for you. Yeah, this is The Lock at the Strange Light. Yeah, I like storytelling. I'll do hypnotic stories where I will put in hypnosis and all for strength and all. I did a couple yesterday or the day before, the dark mirror stuff, where you go into the dark, find a dark mirror inside inside your imagination, and there are so many. I've done two. I've done Reclaim Your Voice, and I've done Meeting Your Shadow. So if you have a look at those, there is the dark moon mirror stuff, dark mirror stuff. But the lock at the strange light. Have you ever had one of those moments where absolutely nothing dramatic happens, but the whole world seems to feel different? And that happened the other day for the eclipse. We went for a little walk during the eclipse. Now, obviously, the sensible advice is not to stare at the sun, which is easy enough to explain to a human, but the cat and dog, well, I'm not sure if they were aware. until the light begins to change. But the three of us ended up sitting on the lock trying very hard to behave like responsible adults. Now, yeah, I've done sun gazing. I wasn't really that bothered, but I also had the reflection in the water. So you kind of watch the reflection on the water. I got some really good footage, but there was one responsible adult, one dog, and Merlin. Merlin is my ginger and white fluffy cat, and he's never accepted anyone's definition of being responsible. He's a cat. He's going to do as he damn well pleases. So I started filming the reflection of the sun of the canal, and the light changed. And it wasn't a dramatic change. It was a kind of like a velvet change. It was like you could see the texture in the air. And I've seen it once before on an eclipse. But this time I was more interested in the colour of the sky and the colour of the water reflected in the sky. And it just became like a bit weird. And it was the strange part. It wasn't dramatic. Everything lost a little colour. The trees seemed flatter. Even the air felt like textured, and you could see, I don't know, weird bits. And for a few minutes, the whole canal had this eerie feeling you get when a familiar room looks strange in the middle of the night. Then we started getting visitors. First, a grey squirrel appeared. Now, this was up in the trees. Don't often see them. Not here. It's a very still, very quiet part of the canal. And then a couple of pigeons. They wandered up over the grass, eyed very deliberately by the pussycat. And then finally, the lock's yellow wagtail turned up. Now, these are quite big little birds. They're little birds, but they're quite hefty size, and it's got a yellow and sort of yellow tail, and it sort of swoops along as it flies. And there's one very, it's his territory. He feels the lock is his territory. And so there I realized what was happening. I was sitting on a lock during an eclipse with a dog, a cat, a squirrel, 2 pigeons, and a yellow wagtail. It felt like the beginning of an extremely badly organised council meeting. Nobody had an agenda, and the pigeons were sort of strutting their stuff and looking for seeds, I think. They're contributing very little. Merlin was probably thinking very hard about eating half the committee. And Sabre was just delighted to have more beings involved. But he was staying very still, so he didn't frighten everything off. And for a few minutes, the light just changed, and we all stayed. And that's the bit that stayed with me, because normally we're constantly separating everything. Wild animals over here, pets over there, humans somewhere in the middle, convinced we weren't running the whole thing. There was definitely a strange light. And under that light, none of that seemed particularly important. We were just 7 living creatures beside the water, while something unusual happened in the sky. None of us understood it in quite the same way. Perhaps none of us understood it at all, but we all noticed. And sometimes I think that's enough. I don't have to explain a strange moment. I don't have to turn it into a lesson or a metaphor. Sometimes the life just quietly says, look at this. And our job is to sit and look at that. And yeah. And perhaps our only job is to notice before the light changes back. And it didn't actually change back, it just got darker and then disappeared. But it was definitely a interesting and a noticeable event. There we go. Right, got a feather for you. A feather. Yeah, this is one of my political ones. Have a feather.
A feather from a crow's dark wing floats upon an ancient ring, circles turning old cold as stone, cooling softly, find your own. The signs align beneath the sky, truth and lies both passing by. Every whisper wears a face, every mask has found its place. The sweetest poison tastes like wine, the clever trap says, you'll be fine. Up is down and black is white, day is sold as endless night. Every mirror twists the view, until the false begins as true. Hold your center, hold your flame, you don't have to play their game. Suicidal empathy feels like love but cannot see. We burn ourselves to warm the cold, giving away our inner gold. The monsters we're familiar sing that something is not fine. The hairs move on the back of my neck. Where do we go when the world goes to heck? Needing a plan for all eventualities, already feeling the loss of all casualties. People are going to hurt and die. Do we fight or do we fly? Choices may be wrong or right, but I think I will have to stand and fight. Stone. And black is white, day is soul, as endless night. Every mirror twists the view, until the false begins as true. Hold your center, hold your flame. You don't have to play their game. We don't see how bright we shine or how dark the souls that cross the line. We will feel their burn before too long, for they sing the invader's song. The center of a wheel with many spokes, birthing ideas in trips and pokes. The crow still flies, the wheel still turns, the soul remembers, the fire burns. Hold your center, hold your flames, stand apart. Refuse the game when every compass points astray. The feather will show another way. A feather from a crow's dark wing still falls toward the golden ring.
There we go. There was a little bit of, just a little bit of politics in there. It's hard not to stray into politics because I get angry about stuff. Don't you get angry about stuff? And I know it's designed to make you all angry and it's designed to trigger and all of that. But, dear. I shouldn't go on sort of X first thing in the morning. It's not much that it's not fun. It's like, no, just stay off social media until I do my radio show. I dabble. I mean, I have to know for some reason or other. I don't have television, so I have to look into all the see what's up on YouTube, see what's up on sort of what's happening in the world, and it's got really bad. It has. It's like, dear. So, but when you watch things like a big sky event, it's a lot of fun, a lot more fun. I like the sky events. I like doing sort of stuff to take me inside. So I'll read a book, go inwards rather than the outwards, which is like, yeah, you go walk the dog. I walk the dog on a regular basis, go sit by the lock. I had a stroke a couple of months ago, so I've got 2 holes in my brain, and yeah, that kind of messed me up a bit. So I lost the ability to speak. So I came and did this again so that I can articulate again. And it comes back. It does. As my friend put it, you find the B roads rather than the sort of the main roads. You have to find some rerouting and rewiring of your brain going round the damaged parts. But yes, I'm sitting here thinking, well, I got brain damage. What the heck am I pushing myself so much? Because I need to be doing something, and I love making my songs. Here's one of my station IDs. Now, I don't really know much about doing a real radio station, so I do my own. Okay, I'm making it up as I go along. I've learnt, right, after 55 years of being on this planet, I've learnt that most people make it up as they go along. All right, there's very few people who have a plan, and there's very few people that actually stick to that plan. And if they tell you they do, they lie. Okay, so making it up as you go along. Right now, empowering yourself doesn't mean to say that you can empower others. So if you find something that works for you, you do that, right? You do you. That's great. That's a wonderful thing. But if you just pass on what you're doing and it works for you, maybe somebody else will get a good idea. I'm a trained counselor and a trained coach, and I do a lot of hypnotherapy and stuff like that. But I do it now on the radio. It is a lot better medium for me. For one, I don't need to leave my boat. But let's listen to my station IDs. As I say, identities. I go in and I see what other radio stations do. I think, oh, I could do that. So let's have a jingle.
You're listening to Dark Moon Rocks Radio. Stay strange, stay curious, Dark Moon Rocks. Broadcasting slightly sideways from normal, Dark Moon Rocks Radio. Original music, original voices, Dark Moon Rocks. For those who listen differently, Dark Moon Rocks Radio. And now, back into the weird Dark Moon Rocks.
There we go, back into the weird and looking at things slightly sideways. Yes, I look at things slightly sideways. I try to gather as many different perspectives as I can. And even then, I'm just like, okay, I'm still, I can look at many different ideas and still not believe them. And it's like we can be discerning. I get really cross when people tell you, you are like this. And it's like, oh, no, I'm not like that. I've got nothing to do with me. And I switch off, move on. So I can scroll through TikTok and go, you are like this. And it's like, no, definitely not. You haven't taught, you're not talking to me in general. Maybe you are like that, and that's fine. But don't tell me how I am. And don't tell me what works for me, because I work it out. And I can tell you what works. I personally will. This is where I get weird. Yes, I read tarot cards. I do intuitive readings and things like that. But when someone is sitting alone in the dark, they're not alone. Okay? That's the thing. Somehow when you're depressed and at rock bottom, when things are not working out for you, when everything is spiraling down, and yeah, I know this spiraling down place, and you hit the darkness, and that for me is a place of power, and that's how I make it, because you're not alone down there. It just feels like it. We sit with you. There is a lot of people who's sitting with you in the dark. When you think you are alone in the I know it sounds creepy, but we can't touch you. We can't interfere. We can't make our presence known. We just sit. And I've seen this over and over again. For depression people who are in depression, people who are in anxiety, people are lost. They feel lost, like you've lost yourself. And suddenly you think you're all alone in that loss, that there is nobody like you, and that's just a thought form. And it's basically, there are beings from your past, present, future you, past you, archetypes if you like, spirits if you like, whatever you want to call them. I have sat with so many people, astrally if you like, I don't care what the labels are, but you sit with people while they're lost in the dark, and you can't hug them, you can't tell them it's going to be okay. You just sit with them. And you say hi. Say hi sometimes. It's really, people are not alone as they think they are. And you're not doing this life all by yourself. There is so many like elemental beings, fairies if you like, I don't care what they call them, but they sit with you while you're going through shit. And if you could raise your head up a bit, you can see them. And it's just like, just one thing. Just one thing. Don't feel so alone when you're down that spiral path. And eventually you start to know the path. You know the path as it goes down, and you know the path as it comes up again. And it works on emotional, it works on physical, it works, you know, you build up strength again on levels. And it's not an easy path, and it freaking hurts, right? You will feel like you're destroyed and you rebuild yourself. That's the sort of level it feels like. But you're not doing it alone. And that's, we are here. There's a lot of people, I've seen them. I don't even know if they're aware of what they're doing, but I've seen people sit with these other people, sit with these ones that feel that they're lost. And there's like a whole big support network. And it doesn't matter who you are or where you're coming from. If you're in a human body and you're feeling lost and you're feeling alone, that is just a feeling. And it's like, oh, come on, reach out. So reach out. This is why I'm doing the radio station. I'm on sick leave. I can't hardly sort of, function. I've been learning how to refunction myself. And it's like, no, I have to do something. And I'm not professional. I'm not polished. I did train as a counsellor, but only up to level 3. And most of that is listening. And that's a good way. I will listen. But right now I have to talk. And there are so many people out there that are listening. If you are just talking to your dead granny, your dead nan, or an ancestor, somebody who was wise, and anybody, an archetype, you can talk to your God if you like. I'm pagan. I don't necessarily believe in gods, but I do believe in archetypes. So for me, one of the first archetypes that I go to is Lilith. Now that sounds really ridiculous but Lilith walks the darkness. She knows shit. She knows. And whether I believe her as a being, it doesn't matter. An archetype or an egregore, when a lot of people believe in something, they create it. So I'm not necessarily a theist, but if you are, call upon them, right? Talk to them, because there are beings listening. And it's like, hold on. Something I read the other day was something about the end of the Kali Yuga pass. Now, Kali Yuga is an Indian thing. It's very wise and full of knowledge and stuff, but it's not my culture. I don't necessarily understand it completely. But there was something that happened, like a flag fell off. Hello, puppy. Puppy's come to join me. Flag fell off, and it was a portent. It was an omen. Fine, they interpret it as such. We have to hold until 2032. In 2032, things should start to get better. So that's 7 years, 7 years away, something like that. My maths is not brilliant. I can't count in my head these days. But if we hang along, just hang around until 2032. 2032 will bring common sense back into the world. Because there's freaking Fruit Loops out there. It's like, you're asking me to do what? No, I'm in England. I'm in Britain. Okay, so they have thought police. Like, are you thinking something that could get you arrested? They're actually doing that. It's like, excuse me, that doesn't make sense. There are so many things that doesn't make sense. And we were meant to be the sort of well, in theory, we were meant to be the people of common sense. Yeah, that's gone out the window. They're a bunch of Fruit Loops, and I'm not getting involved. I'm having a lot of arrestable thoughts right now. Arrest me for them. Anyway, I'm going to play another tune. I'm Still Here. That's my tune.
built my walls from fear and flames. Thought I was the voice inside, holding tight to every shifting tide. Then one morning all went still. Time just ignored my stubborn will. The mirror showed a different face, someone standing calmly in my place. When every story falls away, what is left for me to do or say? I am not the masks I've worn, not the places I was torn, not the thoughts that rise and fall, or even the echo of them all. When the silence strips me bare, something deeper is waiting there. Beyond the fear, beyond the pains, I find a magnificent self that still remains. That promised control, tried to bargain with my soul. Holding tighter made me see nothing was ever mine or belonged to me. Every heartbeat is borrowed time, every breath is a sacred line. Life was never meant to be still or stay, just guide us while we go through each day. Take off the titles, take off the pride, leave the memories if you trust, leave the certainty to dust. There's a light beneath the mind, patient, silent, watching, always kind. I am more than all I know, more than flesh and more than bone. When tomorrow fades from view, it will be love and that fire that comes shining through. Life is fragile, so am I. Still I lift my heart and will try. Through the darkness I became so much more, a quiet dark soul beneath my core. When the stories disappear, when the world no longer calls, I am still here. I'm still
Yeah, that was a powerful one. That one was written after my stroke. It was a very weird sensation just waking up one morning and, yeah, my body had attacked itself, and I had 2 holes in my head, and basically I'm still here. It took a while to find myself again. It had repercussions. Yeah, I couldn't find words. The gap between my words and speaking them was something that I had to rewire, and it was a very weird thing. And my right hand was like a little bit fuzzy every now and again, and it did move by itself. And I'm like, oh, phantom limb, alien limb, whatever they want to call it. It was quite a thing. So yeah, I've tried to put my experiences into music now. And I'm quite happy with, yes, I understand AI assisted. I am more creative now, and I'm very grateful. It's a site called Suno. They're not paying me. You can go find Dark Moon Rocks on Suno, and it's lots of music on there. And yeah, there's been a lot of things on the news about them, about sort of, I don't know. I don't play politics. All I do is I've learnt to use the software on Suno, and I put my voice in. and I put my meta tags in, so the bits of music I want a loud, a bit soft, that sort of thing. And then I put my words. I don't do, the AI does not do my words. Um, that's my poetry. And I have bucket loads of poetry over the last. I've got hard drive. In fact, just looking at the hard drive, I've got a big terabyte full of with poetry, and it's stuff that I've done for years. And it's like, okay, let's put it all out there. It's now got a medium. I used to get up at the Gorstead in Avebury and do my poem. I did a year and a day. I did my bardery doing public poetry. And it was all good stuff. It was all fun. But once you've been there and done it once or twice, it's like, nah, okay. Let's see where you take it next. And this is where I'm taking it next. So, okay, right. Let's play one of my favorite. Now, I've played this a few times this week. I'm on every 9 till 10 on the radio. I live stream takes a bit of a chunk out me sometimes, especially the technical side. I think we're behaving today. The technical side is behaving today. So it's not so bad. But this is one of my favorites at this moment. You missed your target. Do you know anybody who has been wrongly accused of something? Oh dear. Wrongly accused of something. If you have, yeah, if you've got people angry at you because you said something and you know you didn't say that, and you know, honestly, it's like, it's unfair, it's bad justice. You could say that's ADHD thing, that's fine. But the unfairness of being accused of something you didn't do, it's been all my life, right? I have been accused of so many things. And when I wrote this quite a while back, and it was like, I'm putting it into song now. Because, yeah, being accused of something you didn't do, and then you start getting angry. And as a kid, I remember this, and I was thinking, I might as well have done it. And that was start of my darkwood. I went down into the darkness and I started using power again. And it was a good thing, but you look at the damage you cause and you come back up. And I'm a grey path. I will do both sides, but the grey path is a lot yes. But you've got to know both sides before you can walk the grey. But this comes out of my sense of injustice about being accused of something that you did not do. And then you think, yeah, let's just do it anyway.
Someone said something, someone heard wrong. Someone stitched my name into somebody else's song. Now here comes the thunder, fast, furious, loud. A whole storm of judgment breaking out of the crowd. I could waste my breath saying that wasn't me. I never said it, that isn't what you see. But once the arrows are flying, truth takes second place. You're fighting with a picture and putting on my face. So I stop, I watch, I let the whole thing move. I don't have to catch what was never mine to prove. You missed your target, that person isn't here. You built them out of memory, assumption, rage and fear. So throw what you came to throw, let every frequency fly. It lands where there is nothing and passes straight on by. You missed your target, you cannot wound a ghost. You're fighting what you imagine, not the one standing close. And all that fire you sent me, all that beautiful force, if it cannot find its target, it returns to its source. Cast constantly, most don't know they do. Every accusation, every story made of you. A look becomes intention, a silence becomes crime. Someone fills the empty spaces, then swears they saw the signs. I used to run defending, trying to clear my name, trying to make a raging mind see reality again. Now I enter stillness, hyper alert and calm, watching where the story bends, watching where it's wrong. I listen underneath it to the current and the tone, because sometimes what is striking me was never mine at all. You lose your target, that person isn't here. You built them out of memory, assumption, rage and fear. So throw what you came to throw, let every frequency fly. It lands where there is nothing and passes straight on by. You miss your target, you cannot wound a ghost. You're fighting what you imagine, not the one standing close. And all that fire you sent me all that beautiful force. If it cannot find its target, it returns to its source. But sometimes you see me, sometimes your aim is true. Sometimes the anger coming really isn't meant for you. Then things become interesting, because rage is energy too. Strip off all the meaning and look at what comes through. Heat, pressure, motion, charge. A wave does not become evil because somebody sends it hard. And I have learned a secret from surviving every storm. I do not have to answer in the shape that it was born. Energy is energy, call it love or call it hate, call it judgment, call it fury, call it someone at your gate. I can swallow it as poison, I can throw it back as war, or let the wave move through me and become something more. Fuel for the fire, breath for the flame. You brought me all that power and signed it with my name. You thought you came to break me, that part still makes me grin. You arrived carrying dinner and expected not to be let in. No shield, no panic, no desperate defense. See the waveform, see the story. Separate energy from intent. If it isn't mine, through it goes. If it is mine, I decide what it becomes. You missed your target, or maybe you hit true. Either way, the final choice still does not belong to you. Send the rage, send the thunder, send the full electric sky. I know how to let it cross me. I know what I am inside. Is your target or gave me something raw? I am not the thing you pictured. I am watching something more. All that energy spent on little old me. What a terrible waste if I didn't use it creatively. Let it land, let it pass, let it change its form. Not every force that reaches you has to become a storm.
You missed your target. Yep, not every force that comes at you needs to be a storm. And once somebody releases that storm at you, it is up to you how you want to respond. If you are not that being which they are firing at, they can go straight past you. And it's usually return to sender, and it's like return to source. It can't find its target because it's firing all that anger, all that hatred, all that pissed offness frequency. It fires it at you, and you don't have to be in that position to receive it. Or you can take it on board and use it as food and fuel. So it's like, be careful who you cast at, because an awful lot of that negative energy isn't necessarily negative energy when it hits. You remove the energy and the intent, you separate them two, you just have the energy. The intent is someone else's. That's all their shit. You know, I don't get involved with other people's shit. But I have been cast at so many times. People have cast their anger at me because I put the wrong emoji. Or they reckon I cursed them. Trust me, I really don't have the energy to spare. And it's like, you know, you can 9 times out of 10 you can just tell someone they're cursed and just walk away, and they'll do it all themselves. In fact, more than 9 times out of 10. And it's like, watch that whole frequency when someone's getting angry at you. One, they're trying to get energy off you. That is they're desperate for energy, attention, and you can just see it. And yes, I play because I'm not responsible for their anger, unless I did something deliberately to piss them off. That's a different story. But you can still make. As a teenager, I used to make people angry just because I enjoyed it. Teenagers do shit. It's kind of normal. But you learn. You learn that perhaps trying to get along is probably a better idea. There's so many things. As I said, let's just play a jingle. Yes. As I said, it's my way. I'm not saying it should be your way. Definitely not. But my songs are all my way, and the things that have worked for me, and the things that I've noticed about things. And I do relationships. I'm in a relationship, and I often put a little bit of that in my songs as well.
When the world grows loud, follow the quieter signal. From the edge of the towpath to the edge of the stars, you're listening to Dark Moon Rocks Radio, where strange minds gather, stories travel on the tide, and the night still belongs to dreamers.
I remembered my dream last night. It was quite. Sometimes I don't remember them, and I used to remember an awful lot more. And it might be another thing that stroke has, or the meds. The meds I take away your dreams. I'm not entirely sure, but I had a full-on dream that I remembered. It didn't make any sense, mind you. Whereas before, I used to have like prophetic dreams of past lives and all of that stuff. Since my stroke, survival has probably taken over from sort of intuition. But I got a quiet one for you now. Hello, I've got to remind myself every now and again. Hello, people on TikTok. Hi, nice of you to join me. My name's Kate Sylvanus. I run the Dark Moon Rocks radio show every morning, and I do live show. So come and join me at 9 o'clock every morning on darkmoon.rocks. And yeah, come and say hi. There's also a WhatsApp group, WhatsApp Dark Moon community, where you can come and be on the radio. It's my radio. I can pretty much do what I like, but I have a lot of fun. There is even an app now that you can download. Woo! Yes, I know. I did the app myself. Yes, all the coding, all of that. Yeah, ChatGPT was giving me the technical advice, and it like just talked me through it. It was like, okay. I was quite pleased with that because I used to be a little bit technical, non-competent. But I can do it if I work my way through and it's logical. It's like, So this is why I'm managing to go live on TikTok and YouTube. YouTube, hello. And I'm going to add Facebook to my live stream. If you're going to go live, why stick to one platform? And yeah, I have to do it through OBS. I'm not paying someone so that I can pay a platform that it does it for me. It's far more of a challenge to work it out the other way. So yeah, darkmoon.rocks, check it out. Right, let's go back, if I can find the actual tab with so many tabs on. This is called A Quiet Place Within. This is something I think everybody needs to cultivate. And that's just my opinion. You don't have to take it like bottoms. We all have bottoms. We all have opinions. But a quiet place within is something that, yeah, we need. Somewhere where you can go in and find sanctuary. Your mind messes you about, and your mind will try and be loud sometimes. And this is where the quiet place within. Sing the song. Sing the song, Quiet Place Within.
There is a quiet place within, beneath the noise, beneath the din, a hidden shore, a sheltered bay, where passing storms can fade away. The world is busy night and day, with endless things it needs to say, but not every whisper of the wind is meant to find a home within. Some thoughts arrive like drifting leaves, some sorrows ride upon the breeze. You do not need to carry all or answer every distant call. Come back to the quiet place within, where the stillness has always been, where the river flows and the waters run clear, and your own true voice is the one you hear. Come back to the quiet place inside, your spirit has nothing to hide, where the world may turn and the seasons spin, but the center remains within. The crowd may gather loud and strong, certain they know where all belong, but every soul must learn to see the difference between us and me. The moon still travels through the sky without explaining how or why. The oak still grows through rain and frost without forgetting what it was. And so you learn to gently choose what to keep and what to lose, to let the restless currents flow and trust the deeper things you know. Come back to the quiet place within, where the stillness has always been, where the river flows and the waters run clear, and your own true voice is the one you hear. Come back to the quiet place inside, where your spirit has nothing to hide, where the world may turn and the seasons spin, but the center remains within. Breathe in, breathe out, let the noise pass by like clouds across an open sky. Breathe in, breathe out, let the echoes fade and return to the place where your soul was made. Come back to the quiet place within, where every journey can begin, where no fear, no crowd, no passing storm can touch the place where you are born. Come back to the quiet place inside, where your spirit remains your guide, and though the world may call and spin, the center remains within. There is a quiet place within, beneath the noise, beneath the din. And when the world becomes too loud, you'll find it waiting in the silence.
Oh, I like that one. That's got to be one of my favorites. It was quite an early one I did that. It's like it was experimental. It's all experimental. And it's great fun. I did a whole bunch of music beforehand and I was patching it together and I was talking over it because I was never taught to sing. And it's like they've got my voice now singing, and I'm very grateful for that. And it's like, yeah, you can do so much these days with the technology. It takes some understanding, and it's also ways of using the technology. It's like they're making it up as they go along. I think that's kind of what we do with life. Make it up as we go along. But I do love listening to this. I've got the app on my phone and I listen to my music because I keep reminding me of myself of this stuff. This stuff, for me, I need reminding on a regular basis. But one, I can do it. Two,
This signal does not come from the city. It comes from rivers and rain. From old stories, late nights, and minds that refuse to fit the mold. Dark Moon Rocks Radio, broadcasting from the wilder edges of things.
the wild edges of things, the weird, the slightly sideways. Yes, all of that. Right, well, we've just come into the end now. Now I'm going to play one more song and then I'll say goodbye. But thank you for YouTube. Thanks YouTube for all your views, and TikTok. TikTok is such a strange platform. I use TikTok. I sit there scrolling and looking at interesting things. I can't match all of that. I'm not even going to try. And so there are some amazingly produced things on TikTok, and you're like, nah. And I'm not interested in selling you stuff. They keep advertising, run a shop, and it's like, there's plenty of people doing that. I'm not getting involved with that. I would like you to come and listen to my radio station. That is about it. My radio station is free to listen. If you'd like to download the app, that would be awesome. But if not, then that's awesome too. Just come and listen to my radio station. Right, let's play This Isn't Your Table. Now, anybody who has been alone in the crowd, right? Now, Robin Williams said that he used to feel really, really lonely when loads of people were all around him. And I always thought that that was a very lonely statement. So for all you guys that sit sit in a crowd thinking, I don't belong here, all right? It's just not your crowd. And I've felt like this for years. And now I walk away. It's like, thanks for inviting me. Bye now. It's great fun. It's much better. Just.
Alone in a crowded room again. Everybody talking like they're old friends. Laughing too loud at somebody's joke, while something inside me quietly goes. My body came, took a seat, sat down, smiled at the faces gathered around, but my soul's by the door with its coat pulled tight, thinking, what the fuck are we doing here tonight? And I used to think it must be me, something missing everybody else could see. Why can't I laugh? Why can't I play? Why do I always feel half a world away? Then something underneath me said, this isn't your table. These aren't your people. You don't have to make yourself smaller just to make yourself equal. If your spirit's holding its breath, if you're editing every word, maybe you're not the strange one here. Maybe you're just in the wrong world. So get your coat, get up and go. You've given this room all you're able. Not every room is your room. Not every table is your table. It happens to the quiet ones hiding away, and the loud ones with 1,000 things to say. The funny one keeping everybody alive, who goes home wondering why no one saw behind. The confident one who can talk to anyone, holding everyone up while quietly coming undone. You can know every face, every story, every name, and still feel invisible inside the game. Some rooms make you second guess your skin, cutting little pieces off just to fit in. Laugh when it isn't funny, not when you mean no. There comes a point your soul already knows. This isn't your table. These aren't your people. You don't have to make yourself smaller just to make yourself equal. If your spirit's holding its breath, if you're editing every word, maybe you're not the strange one here. Maybe you're just in the wrong world. So get your coat, get up and go. You've given this room all you're able. Not every room is your room. Not every table is your table. Maybe feeling out of place isn't rejection. Maybe that ache in your chest is direction. Maybe the silence inside you isn't asking you to change. Maybe it's the warning bell saying, move. 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 Before you waste another piece of yourself here. There's a room where you can breathe, where nobody needs a different version of me. The laughter comes easy, the silence, it's right. Nobody asked you to dim your light. You don't rehearse every sentence inside your head. Only 3 days to recover from the things you said. No performance, no mask, no social disguise. You just sit yourself down and realize, oh, so this is what belonging feels like. This is your table. These are your people. Nobody asked you to make yourself smaller. Nobody needs you agreeable. Your spirit isn't holding its breath. You're not swallowing every word. You were never too strange for the table. You were sitting in the wrong fucking world. So hang your coat. You're staying a while. Pull up a chair when you're able, because you finally found your room. You finally found your table. The wrong room will make you question who you are. The right one won't need an explanation. So next time your soul is standing by the door with its coat on, listen. Maybe it already knows where you don't belong. And maybe somewhere else there's an empty chair at your table.
Woo! This isn't your table. Yeah, well, maybe there is another one. Absolutely. And maybe another table is the one that you're waiting for. It's just like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Okay, so it's Friday. It's 24 degrees out there. It's going to get hotter again. We're in for another hot day. It gets all muggy as well. It's like the air's not moving. I go down, sit by the lock with the dog and the cat. There's breeze down there, there's shade down there. It's kind of cooler. So yeah, outside, barefoot on the grass, even the grass that is like all burnt up. But this is August. There's some blackberries ripening on the bushes. I sit there and listen to music and write some tunes. And it's, yes, Saturday, Sunday, so chill out time. Time to go to the beach. Why not? But look after yourselves and yeah, find your table. Take care. Bye now.
Like the passing of time, but it is a good concept to put into rhyme. It goes too fast or too slow. My brain is always on the go. It was an inflicted thing that watches you tick while it rings. We strap it to us to make sure that time is correct through each door. To be in the right time and place can be a wait or a race, even though it keeps us in an unnatural line that the prevailing reality bounds us in time with a merciless agreed upon system of rules that keep us dancing like a bunch of clockwork tools.
Okay. Yes. Right. That's that. Okay. We're gonna switch it all off, sis. Switch it off. Stop streaming. That way. That one. That one.